So is this a completely original story, or does it draw on some of the past?
It's a completely original story. I mean, it is canon, so what happens in the game is authentic and really fits into what we're doing with the films as well. It takes place after the 2009 film and takes place in between the new movie. We wanted to make sure that the game wasn't just a direct copy of what a film was, because I know we've played those games. There's no twist, those turns, you know what's going to happen, and as fun as it is to play some of those scenes and relive those moments, there's no great narrative you can tell. So we wanted to make sure we were telling something that was complete, that was something that you could really be big enough to be on a movie screen, but something that we could give gamers to play. So there will be a lot of hints back and forth. You notice a little bit of Easter eggs. There are some both going back to the movie and to the new movie, but it's not something that you need to see either film to really get. But if you know those things, like Bones' little bit there about, I don't want to hear any more of your fencing stories, just a little bit of dialogue, but we do have some other stuff. There are, if you're a fan of the original series, which I think some of you are, not only is the nod to the Gorn a big throwback to that, but making a game that's based on a very classic episode called Arena, we wanted to make sure, and you'll play later on when you purchase the game, please, that you'll get to relive that Arena moment in a nice, fun way. There was also a really important episode, I think, and probably one of my favorites, called Amok Time, which is an episode where Kirk and Spock are forced to fight each other, and we felt like that was a great place. If I'm making a co-op game where I have to rely on my buddy for 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours to fight at my side, what happens if I get to a point where I now have to fight against them? And there was a lot of talk of, well, I don't think they're going to want to fight each other. Kirk would never fight Spock. We're like, no. A gamer who's been playing with their friend for 8 to 10 hours is going to want to take a swing at him. So we have a nice reference to that as well.
What was the biggest obstacle in putting this together?
The biggest obstacle was the fact that I don't think anyone has really done this before. We could have taken an easier route. We could have just rushed the product out with the first movie and got it into everybody's hands and lived that. We wanted to make sure that we were making a game that could live up to what our vision was. So with that challenge comes a lot of work. I mean, we had to make sure that everything was right. We had to make sure that a lot of people were happy with what we were doing. And collaboration means working back and forth. So it's been a long process. We've been working at this thing day and night, like I said, for over 3 years. And it's almost done.
Has J.J. Abrams had any?
We've collaborated with everybody at Bad Robot, everybody at the studio. So yes, all of our filmmakers, from writing to our special effects team to costumers to creature designer, everybody has collaborated with us from the day we said we were going to make this game.
So is this a one-off, or are you planning follow-ups?
If you buy enough copies, we were planning on more stories. It actually goes back to when we make films as well. We don't really plan on putting all of our eggs and saying, oh, we're going to make a bunch of these movies, because I think it really comes down to, can you make a property that people really love? And we're taking Star Trek into a space that we've never really done before, to a level, hopefully from what you saw, which is just a little tiny glimpse of what we're really trying for the game. There are a lot of other stories we want to tell. There's a lot of other gaming devices that we want to use and sort of blow this thing out in a much bigger way, but we wanted to make sure we were self-contained. We certainly aren't going to get to the end of the game with a big cliffhanger. It's like, oh, buy the next game. We wanted to make sure it was a nice whole story.